Today I want to talk about inspection contingencies. When you make an offer to purchase a house, one of the contingencies, in addition to mortgage, is inspection. And many people just think that's one thing. But you in fact have to request permission in your offer for all the inspections that you want to have. And there are many different categories. And sometimes if you check off too many of them, your offer may look a different way to the seller than an offer that just has one or two of those contingencies. So let's get into the details. The first contingency, and the one that everyone knows, is the home inspection. And that would be building and mechanical, regular home inspection that's just sort of soup to nuts, checks every outlet, goes through the home, looks for major problems. Every licensed inspector in Connecticut is going to have a checklist that's roughly the same. Some of them come with additional teams, and those may be other check boxes of inspections like pest. And radon is usually grouped into that. We check off home inspection and radon if you're using a package home inspector. Additional things that you can have inspected are septic tank. The septic inspection would be done by a different professional, not a home inspector, and that person would come, locate the septic with a map from town hall, and they would inspect the actual tank and to look at the fields and to see if the septic is in fact what we think it is, and if it passes the test that it's still functioning. Other tests would be water or well. Sometimes a water test is done by a home inspector, which would just be collecting water at the faucet or source, and then that water is sent to a lab, a state level lab, and it is tested. Well inspection is different than a water inspection. That would be a well professional coming to check the depth or the function of the well, and they would be looking at the pump and all sorts of things. Additionally to radon, where we would set a radon test, there's sometimes a water radon test. So that would be an add-on that you would do to your water test. We also have lead and asbestos. Generally, we would look for signs that possible things could be asbestos during the home inspection, but you could ask for further testing of things that came up from the home inspection, or if you knew they were there from when we looked at the house, you could just check that box and say you plan on testing whether it's asbestos or not. Sometimes it doesn't really matter if it's asbestos, it just comes down to the cost to remediate some of these things and factoring in an estimate for that. And then there's other tests, which can include environmental tests. It could be testing the floor, it could be testing for mold, it could be testing for anything you have concerns about. Every person and every family is different about what their concerns are, and when you make an offer as a buyer, you need to be comfortable with the home and the inspection. However, if you check every single box and someone else just said home inspection, those two offers are not the same. So it's a balancing act between your risk assessment and what is really important to you and your family, and also what the seller might agree to. So those are kind of the inspection contingencies explained. Follow me to learn more, or reach out if you have any specific questions.